What's up, everybody? Steve here from OddsJam, bringing you my video on UFC 267 for this weekend in my favorite fight on the card, Cory Sandhagen versus Petr Yan. This is the co-main event, and this is for the interim bantamweight title. So for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. So this channel is all about making positive expectation value bets, meaning, we use math to make intelligent, profitable bets that over the long term will produce value. So, that's the basis of our product. You can find it at oddsjam.com. However, I'm also a sports handicapper. I've been doing it for years. So I have my own handicapping style, but I also do use the OddsJam tools to help me make even more intelligent, mathematically profitable bets. When you combine them, it becomes very profitable. And actually, when you just do it mathematically, it's profitable. But then, I know for a lot of guys like myself who have come up handicapping based on situational analysis, matchups, things like that, it takes a little while to wrap your head around the math. But, from a guy who it took me a while to accept that and sort of wrap my head around it, I'll explain it in a way that's, very easily understandable. The website has tools that make it easy for anyone who's not even, a great mathematical mind to very easily understand. And, once you understand these concepts, it becomes pretty simple to apply to sports betting, to handicapping. And then it's going to help you win more bets as well, because it can help you avoid making what's essentially bad, negative expected value bets. But anyway, we'll get into the analysis in a minute, but you can follow me if you just found this, if you found this video and you're looking for UFC picks. Please like and subscribe to this channel. There's a lot of sports betting related videos that come out from myself and other content producers and handicappers. And you can follow me on Twitter at Steve P Bets. You can also follow me on TikTok. I put out a daily video covering my favorite pick of the day there at OddsJam Betting. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into the actual analysis. So for those of you who are subscribed, you're very familiar with the screen. For those of you who are finding this for the first time, this is the interface of our site. So, when you're a member of OddsJam, and if you're not, we offer a 7-day free trial, so you can check it out. This is the basic dashboard. If you go to the odds, you can select your sport. So for the UFC, there's the odds for all the fights. So we'll just go down to this fight. All right, so Sandhagen versus Yan. Obviously, there's a variety of ways to bet this. I'm looking at the money line, and we're looking at Cory Sandhagen. The best value here, and this is sort of a rogue number, so this is where the majority of the value of this bet comes from, is, he's plus 220 on MGM. He's around plus 200 everywhere else. He is plus 210 on FanDuel, but he's as low as, 180 on offshores or, on Fox bets. So, obviously that's a huge discrepancy. If you have access to all these sports books and you bet him on any book but MGM, you're making a bad bet. And now one thing that we want to touch on is, one of the best tools of OddsJam is what's called, it's been rebranded now, the OddsJam Perfect Line. So this is pulling from Pinnacle, the sharpest sports book on the planet. So this is a good baseline of what the actual fair value should be for a bet. So before it was branded as OddsJam with our dice logo. Now it's rebranded as the OddsJam's Perfect Line. So just get used to that. When you see the P there, that's what that means. Unfortunately for UFC, the software doesn't have this market yet for Pinnacle, but it's not a big deal because we can obviously just go over to Penny. And if you look here, this fight, the current odds is Cory Sandhagen plus 185, Petr Yan minus 220. So what we want to do is go over to the no vig calculator on OddsJam to see what the actual fair no vig odd line is. And again, we're using Pinnacle because it's the most efficient sports market in the world. So we use this market to evaluate, what the actual fair line is minus the vig. So this is the odds on Pinnacle plus the vig. This calculator the no vig fair odds calculator, which can be found up here. It removes the vig, so the fair odds here with no vig is plus 195. So, over on MGM, when you can bet in at plus 220, that's very good value. Another tool we have that helps you calculate the expected value is this expected value calculator. So how it works is you just put in the amount that you bet, you put in the odds that you can get at the best book, so in this case it would be plus 220 on Sandhagen, and then you put in the win probability, which can be calculated by, again, using the no vig fair odds calculator, by removing the vig. With no vig at plus 195, that's an implied win probability of 33.79%. So again, this is stuff that I would never really think of before I started using OddsJam, and it just helped me be a better handicapper, because I would have liked Sandhagen regardless in this fight for reasons that I'll get to in a minute. But mathematically, right off the bat, this is a profitable bet, because the expected value for every $100 wagered is profiting 8.13%. So if you make these kind of bets long term, you will absolutely profit in the long run. So these are the kind of bets that you want to make as a sports bettor. So, I'm not going to say that I always make bets like this. Sometimes I will make mathematically unprofitable or, minus EV bets just because I like the situation. Other handicappers that use OddsJam that are on this channel, they'll only bet mathematically. Honestly, that's probably the smarter way to do it, but I'm pretty stubborn and I'm old school in a way. So I do it to combine, but really the purpose of this channel is about making plus EV, positive expected value bets. So I want to start off saying, this bet is absolutely that. So this is like a plus 8%, which is pretty good, because if you go to our betting tools, it lists plus EV bets just across all the books. And 8%, it's not bad. You can get up in the 20 range, which is really, really good. But, this is like a middle of the road plus EV. So it's a mathematically profitable bet to start. Now we can get into stylistically why I like Sandhagen here. He's the much bigger and lengthier man. He's 5'11", while Jan's only 5'7". Sandhagen's really tall for this division. That's probably his biggest strength and asset as a fighter in this division, is he's really, really tall and lanky for a bantamweight. And, that allows him to maintain distance. And he has a very unique fighting style where he, basically controls the octagon with his length and his reach. So, right off the bat, he has a big, just a big height and reach advantage, which, for Jan, his style, he's very pressuring. He's a very good boxer. But Sandhagen can keep him at bay, with those jabs, with his length. The only problem that I have in this fight is that sometimes Sandhagen's style doesn't sit well with the judges. If we look at his most recent fight against TJ Dillashaw, he lost that in a very controversial split decision, just because, the judges are split. And, that is the biggest issue with the UFC, is the judging. Let's just say it's very controversial at times. There's times when some judges on, a fight on one judge's cards is 30-27, meaning, they think a fighter won all 3 rounds, and another judge has it 30-27 for the other fighter. So, how is that possible? A fight's a fight. It's objective for the most part. It's because, these judges just see things differently. And the scoring in the UFC definitely needs to be, I think, modified to make it more fair. But it is what it is. So, you always have to keep that in mind when betting on this fight. But my point is, I think this fight truly is a toss-up. It's going to be a 5-round fight. So, I think Jan may have the slight advantage just because of the way how he pressures and the way how the judges might score this. But, this is much closer to a 50-50 fight, while the odds are implying that it's like a 70-30, which just isn't factual. So, this is a bet that I'm very confident making at plus 220 odds. Obviously, it's going to lose. around 70% of the time. So, don't come back to me in the comments and say, what a shitty pick. If you're going to criticize my picks, at least please have the balls to do it before the event actually occurs. I have no problem if you come on and say, I think this is a bad pick for XYZ before it happens, but, anyone can come on and troll and, tell me how stupid the pick is after the fact. So there's no respect for that. So, I definitely appreciate everyone's engagement. I like all comments, good or bad. I definitely appreciate you guys tuning in and the engagement. But my only request is, if you're going to talk shit, do it before the fight happens, not after. Or, before the game happens, not after. Because that I can respect. If you just come in and troll after the fact, that's just weak. So, that's my tangent. But yeah, I think, Sandhagen at plus 220 or even plus 210 on FanDuel if you don't have MGM. I think it's a great bet. So I locked it in and we'll see what happens, but it's a mathematically profitable bet. And, I've over the years been very successful betting UFC before I ever even found OddsJam. So, I'm really excited to apply the plus EV tools and, make even more money betting the UFC. So good luck, guys. Let's go Sandhagen. Enjoy the